What's up, everyone? This is Vindictam's Cantina here, coming at you with a very interesting video, a very interesting discussion video I wanted to discuss with you guys. Originally, I was going to be doing a video on if Obi-Wan caught up to Qui-Gon Darth Maul in time in the very infamous Duel of the Fates. But I've decided to do something different this week, because I've been reading the first book in the Darth Bane trilogy, Darth Bane: The Path of Destruction, and I am it's interesting because how he gets into the Sith army. Now, I am early on in the book. I'm at chapter 7. I've actually been reading it before I go to bed, because throughout the day I'm busy and all that, and nighttime is when I'm able to read. So it's very interesting how he gets into the Sith army too, because he wasn't treated well, and it's like he was despite the fact the way that he was able to get off the planet he was on was extremely bad. I mean, he was a criminal. He was finally able to get away from that life and pretty much start new. But I'm not going to get too much into that. I want to discuss why I think Darth Bane's rule of 2 worked compared to how it was previously, to where basically the Sith had a war amongst themselves, basically, because they were fighting and killing each other off and trying to stab each other in the back. And even playing the old Republic MMO, like, you can tell that the Sith lords, there was no trust. Everybody was trying to betray each other, and it was very corrupt. And the rule of 2 works because you only have 2 Sith around: the master that trains the apprentice, and then the apprentice takes out the master, and then the cycle continues. And obviously it does work, because we see that happen in the prequel trilogy, to where basically the bad guy wins, and it's all because of Darth Bane. It's all because of Darth Bane's rule of 2. And that was extremely smart. That was probably the best thing that could have happened to the Sith, despite the fact that I do have my own Star Wars OC. That's why I named myself Vindictam, to where he believes that the Sith Empire should be still around. There should be there should be a lot of Sith as much as there is a lot of Jedi. But even though that I created him to be like that, I actually agree with Darth Bane. I do think that the Sith needed to change if they wanted to survive, and it worked out. Now, you can put in the debate if Palpatine broke the rule of 2, because obviously around the time of Episode 1, that was when Count Dooku became his apprentice at the same time Maul was, if I'm not mistaken. But he never really considered them as true, as his true apprentices. He considered them as more like pawns, because once he met Anakin, that was when he set his sights on the Chosen One. You had Qui-Gon, who really wanted to train the boy, and then you had Palpatine, who also wanted to train the boy, but because of the fact that Anakin became a Jedi, he had to slowly move his chess pieces around to be able to get Anakin to oh my god, I'm so tired, you guys. I'm trying my best here. He slowly manipulated Anakin, trying to give him this big ego boost to try and get him to go down the dark path. And it does work. It does work. I do think that Palpatine was definitely behind Anakin's visions with Padme. I do think that he was also behind his mother's visions, and I do think that he was single-handedly involved with getting his mother kidnapped, because Count Dooku, during during this cut dialogue and all that from the movie, I think it's in the book. I need to read the novelization of the episode 1 to 6, but Count Dooku says that I was the one that paid the Tusken Raiders to kidnap and do what they did to Anakin's mom. So, and not to mention too, Palpatine put lies in Count Dooku to where him, Palpatine, Count Dooku, and Anakin, all three of them would pretty much rule over the galaxy altogether. But no, Palpatine stayed true to Darth Bane's rule of 2. Even though that, like I said, it can be debated. And, it can be debated if, during the Clone Wars, because you had Maul and Savage Opress going around and pretty much being a thorn in not just the Jedi, not just the Republic side, but also the Separatist side, because Maul became a legitimate threat. They got all these different crime syndicates. They had Death Watch, they had the Pikes, they had the Black Sun, they had the Hutts. Maul became a serious threat, and he was able to rule Mandalore. That goes to show you the testament that Maul, despite the fact that so many people consider him this monster and this animal, he was cunning, and it was scary when he was cunning. He knew exactly what to do to get what he wanted. He knew that if he took over Mandalore, it would draw out the Jedi. It would draw out Obi-Wan, because in Season 5 of the Clone Wars, which me and my girlfriend, Mizuki Rivendell, here on YouTube, is watching this right now. In Season 5, their goals, Darth Maul's and Pre-Vizsla's, or in this case, the whole Death Watch goals, they all align. Darth Maul wanted to get rid of Obi-Wan. Pre-Vizsla and Death Watch wanted to get rid of Satine. Now, that's some interesting parallels, because in canon, Obi-Wan and Satine were, lovers. And they still had feelings for each other, even up to the time that she unfortunately got murdered by the hands of Maul. And, he knew exactly how to hit Obi-Wan's buttons. I mean, look at when they had their first duel in a long time. I mean, Maul taunted Obi-Wan to the point that Obi-Wan actually started using the dark side a little bit, and because because of the fact that it unbalanced him, it almost screwed him up. And Darth Maul taunts him about that. Your anger made you unbalanced. That's not the Jedi way, is it? Maul was very cunning, and I do think that in some ways, I think Maul could have been the perfect apprentice for Sidious, if it wasn't for the fact that Sidious just saw him as just a pawn. Maul had everything that a Sith was, in my opinion. I do agree with Maul somewhat that, yes, Count Dooku was a Sith pretender. He was mostly a politician. Despite being a Sith Lord, he pretty much acted like a politician during the Clone Wars. Now, in some ways, you can say that, okay, well, on one hand, too, Maul was also being a hypocrite, because he knew Palpatine, he knew Sidious. Well, I can only assume that he most likely knew that Sidious was a senator at the time of the Phantom Menace, and obviously by the end of it he was Chancellor. But I don't think he knew about that too much. I think, I'm not sure if they ever confirmed that or not, if he knew that both Palpatine and Sidious was like the same person. Um, I don't know if Maul ever knew that his master was a politician. So I can only assume that he probably, there's not much we can go off of if he did. But judging by the fact that he considered Count Dooku a Sith pretender for that reason, because to Maul, Count Dooku is just a politician playing Sith. And I don't think he knew that Sidious and Palpatine was the same person. I don't think they knew. Well, I don't think he knew. But can you all imagine if Maul actually managed to take Palpatine and Count Dooku out? Can you imagine how much that would alter, the timeline? Can you imagine a galactic empire with Maul and then Savage and then Darth Vader? That would be bonkers. But on one hand, too, would Anakin go to the dark side? I don't think he would. Because Maul wouldn't care about trying to get Anakin on his side. Now, he might if he saw Anakin's potential, but Anakin never really fought Maul in the Clone Wars. He fights Obi-Wan, and obviously in Season 7, I do know that he fights Ahsoka, but he never fights Anakin. So I don't know if, Maul would train Anakin unless he knew that Anakin was the chosen one. In that case, I think he would. I think in some ways, I don't know if he would betray Savage. I don't know if he would end up pretty much pulling a Palpatine and then training both of them in secret from one another, not letting the other know. But I don't think Maul would train Anakin. I don't think he would. Because I don't think he would take Anakin all that seriously as a Sith Lord. Because of how, like I said, in his mind, Count Dooku is a Sith pretender. So who's to say he wouldn't think the same of Anakin? Or, in this case, Darth Vader. So, though the Rule of Two definitely helped keep the Sith in line and help Palpatine get his goals, but the Rule of Two could have also benefited Darth Maul and Savage if they managed to take Sidious out. And that's what's so interesting about... That's why I find the Siths a lot more interesting than the Jedis, because they do have their own independent thoughts. In some ways, the Sith Lords are more closer to how real people are, despite the fact that, yes, they're greedy, they're power hungry, but they're also very fun to watch in Star Wars. I enjoy seeing Palpatine be Palpatine. I enjoy seeing him trick all the Jedi and all that as the Chancellor. I also enjoy Maul just being this conniving, cunning villain, too. And what's interesting is that in George Lucas's version of the sequel trilogy, Maul was actually going to be the main villain. It was going to be, and he was going to train Darth Talon, because from my understanding, he was a big fan of Darth Talon. Can I blame him? No. I can't blame him one bit. Now, did he probably think that she was attractive? Probably not. George probably thought that she was very interesting of a character. Because I guess in some way too, you can say Darth Talon was definitely more like a reverse Alea Sakura, right? Because both of them are Twi'leks, both of them can use the Force, both of them, fight with a lightsaber. In this case, you have one that's a Sith and you have one that's a Jedi. But I think it would have been interesting seeing a sequel trilogy to where Maul was the villain. I think that would have been amazing. I think that would have been so sick to see, especially if they got Ray Park to play the body double, which they probably would have, and like maybe get like Sam Witwer to do the voice, because I love Sam's portrayal of Maul. I still like the dude that voiced him in the Phantom Menace too, and he was actually going to voice him in Solo, but Sam does a great job. Like, Sam did a great job voicing Starkiller. He did a great job voicing the Sun, and he's doing a great job. I mean, he's killing it with Maul. Like, he is a freaking amazing Darth Maul. And then you have Clancy Brown voicing Savage, which everyone knows him as Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob, and he also voiced some characters in Crash Bandicoot and Spiral as well. So it's like, it's kind of cool seeing this, you know. I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see what else they do with Darth Maul, if they have any more plans with him. I would love to see like a live action version of the duel between him and Maul in Kenobi, but considering the timeline, I don't know if they would or not. But, yeah, so that's it for this discussion video. I just wanted to discuss my thoughts on World War 2 and Darth Maul and all that, and, you know, I pretty much, I just wanted to have a casual Sith discussion with you all, you know. Let me know what you think of what I said. And as always, if you're new here, definitely make sure to comment, like and subscribe, and hit that bell button. And I'll see you all in the next Star Wars video. May the Force be with you all.